Welcome to today's edition of the program, The Great Thinkers Show. I'm your presenter, Peter Ziakegha, the Great Thinker himself. Today, I'm going to be talking about the powers of the mind. The powers of the mind. Let me ask, do you know the mind itself is a mystery thousands found very difficult to comprehend? Do you equally know that the top secret of successful people is the ability to make use of the mind? The mind is the greatest ground for achievement for successful people. The mind itself is a mystery. Mystery in a sense that the mind is not physically seen in the human body. If you ask a surgeon today, where is the mind located in the human body, the surgeon will tell you, if you dissect a complete being today, there is no part of the human body that you will refer to as the mind. And that is because the mind itself is a mystery. The online dictionary defines the mind as the element of a person that enables them to be aware of the world and experiences, to think and feel, the faculty of consciousness and thoughts. That is to say that one of the major characteristics of the mind is the ability to think. And that is why the Bible says, as a man thinketh, so is he. I want to talk about two components of the mind that will shock you. I want you to take your pen and take it down. Number one, the eyes of the mind. Do you know that there is an eye in the mind of every individual? In the game of success, you do not approach it with the physical eyes, because if you do, you crash out of the race of life. And that is why Helen Keller, the blind woman, the most renowned personality, one of the great thinkers in the world, she said, the most beautiful and superb things in the world are not seen with the physical eyes, but they must first be felt with the mind. She is talking about the powers of the eyes of the mind. I want you to know that if you focused on the eyes of the mind, you will achieve whatever you desire to achieve on earth. The eyes of the mind is the direction to the road of our destination. Let me share with you the story of Mountain Robert. Mountain Robert is the son of an itinerant horse trainer. He will go from stable to stable, ranch to ranch, training horses. Because of that, the young boy's education was constantly interrupted. One day, the teacher called the students in the class and asked them to go and write about their dreams in life. Mountain Robert went home and wrote a 7-page paper giving a detailed description of what he wants to achieve. Knowing fully well that the father was a poor man, knowing fully well that he has nothing to fall back on, but because Mountain Robert believed in the eyes of the mind, he wrote about his dream in a great detail. He said that he's going to own one of the biggest horse ranch in the land. And he drew as big as 200 acres of land, and his estate that will be sited inside the land, including the horse ranch and everything on it. After he's done with it, he took the project to his teacher. While the teacher was going through all the other projects and he saw this one, he called Mountain Robert. He told him, I ask you to go and write about achievable dreams, not unrealistic dreams. And that is because what Mountain Robert was seeing through the eyes of the mind, the teacher could not see it. And so he gave Mountain Robert back the paper. He said, go back and write about real achievable dreams. Mountain Robert took the paper home and met his father. And the father told him that this is a decision for you to take. Mountain Robert looked at the paper and he took the same paper without making any change at all back to the teacher. And meanwhile, the teacher has already written on top of the paper a big F. When Mountain Robert got to the teacher, he handed over the paper back to the teacher. And the teacher looked at it and he said, you didn't make any change at all. And Mountain Robert said, sir, you can keep the F and I will keep my dream. Years later, Mountain Robert was sharing the story with thousands of youth in his ranch. And he told them that I'm telling you the story because the same teacher sent 30 students to come and camp in my ranch. There is a power in the eyes of the mind. Mountain Robert was seeing through the eyes of the mind. The teacher couldn't see it. The difference between success and failure is the ability to see through the eyes of the mind. And I want you to know that if you are able to make use of the mind, there is nothing on earth you cannot achieve. Number 2, the magnetic force. I want to shock you on something. This is a mystery in the eyes of the mind. Do you know that there is a force that helps to magnet anything that you imagine inside of your mind to you? For instance, if you think poverty, the magnetic force will automatically magnet element of poverty to you. And that is why the Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. My question is, what are you thinking about? What are you thinking about? Are you thinking in line of successful people, or are you thinking in line of failures? And I want you to understand that if you have the ability to make use of the mind, capture the eyes of the mind, you will be an achiever. Let me share with you one of Bob Marley's most favorite quotes. It said, life itself is a journey. And when you embark on it, do not, I repeat, it said, do not contemplate the mind. It's talking about distraction. It's talking about distraction. You don't approach the journey of life with the physical eyes. You don't approach the journey of life with your physical eyes. Rather, approach the journey of life with the eyes of the mind. The eyes of the mind will project the future and bring it very close to you. The eyes of the mind will enable you to capture those beautiful things, according to Helen Keller. The eyes of the mind will enable you to fulfill your dreams in life. My viewers out there, I want you to know that there is a power in the mind. Same time next week in same station, Wafi TV. I'll be right back.